Marcus refreshed the page. He wasn't job hunting. He was procrastinating. Coffee in one hand, inbox ignored, Monday morning dullness. Then he saw it. His job. His exact title. His exact department. Posted 14 minutes ago. He read it twice, then a third time. They hadn't even changed the wording. Seeking experienced operations lead with 10+ years managing cross-functional teams. That was him. 10 years, same company, same office view, same parking spot. No warning, no conversation, no performance review concerns, just a public replacement. His stomach didn't drop, it hardened. And what scared him most was this: he wasn't surprised. The signs had been subtle. Meetings he wasn't invited to, budget conversations redirected, his boss saying, "We're rethinking structure," without looking at him. Still, he had told himself the same thing everyone tells themselves: if I keep performing, I'll be fine. Performance equals protection, right? He minimized the tab, opened a spreadsheet, tried to focus, but a strange thought began forming. What if this wasn't about performance? What if this was about cost? He was one of the highest paid mid-level managers. Loyal, stable, predictable, expensive. And companies don't reward loyalty. They optimize for margins. At 11 a.m., his boss walked past his desk. "Quick sync later?" she asked casually. He studied her face. Neutral, efficient, unreadable. "Sure," he replied. And in that moment, he made a decision. He would not confront them. Not yet. Most people, when threatened, panic. They react emotionally. They demand reassurance. They expose fear. Marcus did something else. He went quiet. Not defeated quiet, observing quiet. For the next 2 weeks, he watched carefully. Who was suddenly included in strategy meetings? Who lingered near leadership? Who asked unusually detailed questions about his workflow? Then he saw him, Ethan, ambitious, smart, 6 years younger, recently assigned to shadow leadership operations. Shadow. Marcus almost laughed. At home, his wife noticed something. "You're different," she said. Different how? Not stressed, just calculating. He didn't tell her yet, not because he was hiding it, because he wasn't afraid. He was curious. Instead of updating his resume immediately, he did something unexpected. He mapped everything. Every system only he fully understood, every vendor relationship, every undocumented workaround, every fragile process he quietly kept functioning. He realized something uncomfortable. He wasn't valuable because of his title. He was valuable because of institutional memory, and institutional memory isn't listed in job descriptions. The quick sync came. Glass conference room. Artificial smile. "Marcus," his boss began carefully, "we're restructuring the department to stay agile." Agile. There it was. "We're creating a slightly different leadership model." He nodded slowly. "And where do I fit?" A pause. "You don't," she said gently. There it was. Official. Measured. Polite. "We'd like you to stay on for 60 days to transition knowledge." Transition knowledge. Translate, train your replacement. He surprised her. "Of course," he said calmly. No argument, no visible anger, just agreement. Because he already knew something she didn't. They weren't replacing him. They were replacing a version of him, and that version had already started expiring. That night, he finally updated his resume, but he didn't list tasks, he listed transformations. Reduced system inefficiencies by 32%, built cross-department automation pipeline, negotiated vendor cost restructuring saving $1.4 million. Numbers, language leadership understood. Then he did something bold. He reached out directly to 3 competitor firms, not for employment, for consultation. He framed it simply: I've spent a decade optimizing operational blind spots. If you're scaling, you're likely sitting on hidden inefficiencies. 2 didn't reply. 1 did. Meanwhile, at work, he trained Ethan, patiently, thoroughly, but he stopped solving invisible problems automatically. When systems lagged, he waited. When cross-team confusion emerged, he let others handle it, not maliciously, accurately. Within 3 weeks, cracks appeared, deadlines slipped, vendor miscommunications increased, meetings multiplied without clarity. Agile, it turned out, wasn't smoother, it was louder. On day 42 of his transition, his boss called him back in. "You've been very professional," she said carefully, "but we're noticing instability." He almost smiled. "Transitions are complex," he replied. There was a hesitation. Then, "If you'd consider a revised role, strategic operations consultant, short-term contract, higher hourly." There it was. They didn't need a cheaper manager. They needed invisible expertise. 2 days later, he signed with the competitor firm, not as an employee, as an independent consultant. Remote, higher compensation, project-based. And 3 months after that, his former company hired their new firm to fix operational inefficiencies, which meant Ethan, which meant his old department, which meant his boss. The first meeting back felt surreal. Same building, different seat. This time, he wasn't asking for approval. He was billing by the hour. Here's the part no one talks about. Being replaced isn't always rejection. Sometimes it's exposure. Exposure of how much you've outgrown a structure that only valued you as long as you were convenient. Marcus didn't win because he fought. He won because he didn't panic. He understood something critical. If your company can post your job without telling you, you should be able to redesign your value without telling them. Most people refresh LinkedIn looking for opportunity. Sometimes opportunity refreshes you first. If you saw your job posted tomorrow, would you collapse, or would you finally see what you're actually worth? The answer might determine who replaces who.